Hey, 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 hey. Black excellence, black beauty, and black pride. Black power from all diasporas coincide. Progressive truth and regression eventually collide. May the beauty of the people no longer be set aside. May the black queen's grace continually mesmerize the millions who couldn't see it when looking into her eyes. And the black man's plight no longer be the disguise. Oppression, emasculation, they wanna castricize him. Take him away from the black queen, put him inside prison for slave labor, he institutionalized. Wondering on the outside, is she willing to ride? Is she willing to ride? Is she willing to fight for the love, even despite the fact that he doing time? Love that conquers all will never fade with time. If she don't choose the love that appreciates every life, his flame might get dim and he may eventually.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
And welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. Matthew, which camera should I be looking at? This one or that one? Just either one?
Whatever.
Okay. I did that purposely so that y'all know that we're live because some people ask me, are y'all really live or is this just premiered?
Premiered?
Yeah. Somebody asked me, is this really live or is it premiered? We are really live.
Yes,
we are live actually from the studio. You can meet us down here. And
we prefer you.
Available for private events. You sure can. Available for private events. The studio in Windsor Heights. You could call or text with questions 515-996-0326. Let me tell you that again. We are live right here at the Urban Impact Show from the studio in Windsor Heights. I didn't have to ask which city we were in today. This space is available for private events, and you can call with or text with questions 515-996-0326. We in this thing. What's up, Brittany?
What's up? I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys last week.
That's right.
That's right. You wasn't with us. Welcome back.
I know. It felt like a long week, but thank you. I'm happy to be back.
It has been a long week.
You know what? Really quick.
Let's go
ahead on and
I was gonna say the
let's
same
just address
thing.
this really quick.
Yes.
We know that there was a shooting that took place on the grounds of East High School. And I want to be really clear to everybody watching that what took place was nothing short of a tragedy. But I also don't want us to lose sight of what's happening with our other babies in these streets as well. A young man was shot in the face. A teenager was shot in the face just over the weekend off of Southeast 14th. There was not a lot of attention brought to it because it didn't happen in a certain neighborhood and because it didn't happen in a certain area. And so nobody really even knew about it except for those who are really deep into it. And so when we say let's pray for our babies, y'all, we're talking about all of them. We're talking about East. We're talking about North. Roosevelt, Waukee, Johnston, South. You know, we're talking about them all because our babies really do need help right now, and there's a lot happening. And you're right, this has been a long week.
Yes.
But what gives me hope is the fact that there are people in our neighborhoods, in our cohorts, in our surrounding areas, in our community that are really striving for real change.
Yeah.
And I would encourage everybody to join in with what's going on. Let's not sit on our hands. but let's also not just react to this one situation. You know, we had a baby girl commit suicide. She was only in middle school right here in Des Moines. Nobody even knew about it. Nobody said anything about it, right? She was crying out for help too.
How can they get connected?
So we're going to actually start posting some of that stuff on the Urban Impact Show page for people to get connected to those resources. Madison was a part of a group with me called Community Resource Group, where we were actually gathering information of resources so that everybody would know where to go, because everybody just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We don't know who to call. So we'll actually be posting that stuff, so stay tuned for the Urban Impact Show. But I had to just address that.
No,
real
I'm
quickly
glad you
before we
did.
got into our 40 under 40 stuff. For Luana, I'm this 50 over 50, but yeah. So
You see how he just slid that
Feel
in there?
free to jump over the table, Luana. I'm like, we will all clear the way. You can just jump over here right now. That's all that matters. Go right ahead. Just saying.
Trey looking at me like, dude, I am in the line of fire, bro. Be quiet. All right, sorry, Luana, back to you.
No, it's all good. And just so you know, I think we'll need to do a show about all that has happened last week at another time. I think there's lots of conversations that need to take place. So we won't do those today, but just know our hearts are with everybody that have suffered some type of loss last week. But we are here today to talk about 40 under 40. And I'm so excited to have right next to me is Susanna DeBaca. She is president and CEO of Business Publications Corporation. And BPC is an Iowa-based media company that serves business, cultural, and philanthropic opportunities. Founded as a business publishing company in 1983 by visionary entrepreneur Connie Weimer, and she is an amazing woman herself. I encourage you all to get to know her. BPC has steadily grown and evolved, and today they have 3 unique media brands. That is Business Record, DSM, and White Brain. So help me all welcome Susanna to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I had an opportunity to meet Susanna as I've worked a little bit with the Business Record through the Urban Experience magazine and through my own media company. And they have something called 40 under 40. Just to save Rob the jokes, I do not qualify for that. As you all know, I am over 40, so that doesn't work for me, but it does work for many people in our community. And Business Record has really taken this approach to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I just want you to talk a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about that approach that Business Record is now taking.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you for highlighting 40 under 40. I think it's really important. But just a tiny bit about me. I'm an Iowa farm girl, a Latina. I left the state for 30 years. I came back to the state. You can ask me about that later. And this is
I will.
Okay. I'm sure you will. Right. This is my 3rd career. I spent 25 years in finance and asset management. Then I spent 4 years running a regional Planned Parenthood. And now I am running this publishing company. And so DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusivity has always been very important to me. I've worked at places where it wasn't important to anybody else, and then where it was really at the forefront. And when I came to BPC, I was thrilled to be working at a woman-owned company. I am now part owner of that company. And there were some really amazing things that had happened over the years in terms of supporting women and various communities, but I saw a huge opportunity for us to be doing a lot more and to be inviting a lot more voices in and people at the table. At 40 under 40 is one of our, I would say, probably really most respected and beloved events. People love this event because it recognizes young people who are up and coming, who are doing amazing things in the community. And I think we'll talk about today, proud of the fact that we have had the most diverse class this year of any year, and it's about time.
Yeah. Good, Brittany.
So you talked a lot about your previous careers or jobs before this job, working with Planned Parenthood. How long did you work with Planned Parenthood? Did you say 4 years?
4 years. I was the president of the regional organization, and then I'd been on boards for probably 15 years. So I've been
what
involved.
brought you into this new company and what you're doing now?
When I worked at Planned Parenthood, I was brought in to really do an operational turnaround here in the Midwest. And in 2016, when the election happened and the administration changed, we lost a very significant amount of funding in Iowa. Yes, and so we were looking for ways that we could continue the mission of the organization, and I ended up doing a merger with another affiliate nearby to create sort of a mega regional affiliate. But I kind of worked myself out of a job in the process. And then one of our supporters, Connie Weimer, the woman she was talking about, said, why don't you come run my company? And so networking helps, I guess, whether you knew it or not. Sometimes being in the right place at the right time
It is.
and being around people who share values with you is important. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm always excited to hear people talk about finance and things like that. Myself, being securities license and insurance license, I always wonder about the DE work, the DEI work that happens in that space. And so when you said, I've worked in spaces where that maybe wasn't necessarily the forefront in a lot of spaces, and I've been in that space where it definitely was not the forefront. The forefront was the profit margin, and that was it. That's all they cared about. And so that's what actually made me take a step back and actually start to do more of this work. Would you consider yourself a community activist with the work that you're doing with the business record?
Absolutely. One of our strategic priorities is community leadership. When Connie started the company, it was really her mission was to serve the community. So for the business record, the whole idea is helping businesses do business better. Now, some might say, well, that's profit motive, but given the fact that individuals, our workforce is probably the biggest asset that we all have. Talking about workforce issues is incredibly important. And so we spend a lot of time under that priority of community leadership, thinking about how we inform people of issues, how we inspire individuals to think more broadly, how we elevate issues that need some awareness, and DEI could be one of them, and then celebrate when we see things that are going well. So 40 Under 40 is a way that we celebrate folks who are making a difference and who have, and then further inspire them, hopefully, to do good things. And I consider DEI a good thing, just saying, right?
Yeah.
It definitely is.
So I know we're going to talk to some of the young ladies that are a part of this program. For our viewers, do you want to maybe talk about how you can become a part of this program? Like, I guess start how long you guys have been doing the 40 Under 40, and then how you can be nominated?
Certainly. We're in our 22nd year for 40 Under 40. So if you do that math, we have over 800 people that have been recognized. And the nomination process has always been to reach out to the business community and say, who do you know? And we're recognizing a couple things. One is professional accomplishment. So we want somebody who's already shown some leadership professionally, but also someone who's really involved in the community. So we're kind of looking at the whole person and saying, are they really a leader? So the nomination process, anyone can apply. And the more people we, get the word out to are going to know people in their circles and
That they want to nominate.
Right. So one of the questions Dwana had asked me is why is this a more diverse class? We've been very intentional in asking people to nominate from really a wider circle of communities than maybe happened 22 years ago, when I think there was probably much more of a focus in thinking the business community is big companies filled with white men, right? And we were missing a lot of people, women, as well as communities of color, individuals from the disability community, LGBTQ, weren't the usual suspects. And all of us are contributing a lot. So we need to be recognized.
All right, we got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you guys for watching the Urban Impact Show.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where we have Susanna DeBaca with us today with Business Publications Corporation, and we are taking some time today to talk about 40 Under 40. The business record does that. And one thing I do want to say, I'm going to just kind of share my own story, is that I really appreciate wanting to include others. I can remember when Chris and everyone and Emily reached out to me through Business Record, and we started talking about what more you could do. And what I loved about the organization is that you sought that out. It was I could tell from the beginning it was really important to you to make sure that you all were being sensitive to the things that you reported, but making sure you included others that may not look like you. And so I want to thank you for that, because starting that journey, I'll be very honest, you hear a lot of people ask you, like, what can we do? What can we do? And then you tell them a few things and they do it, and they check market, and they move on. They don't come back to it anymore. And so I want to say that you all have been really, truly committed to making sure that you're very diverse. So if you just want to tell people a little bit about why is that so important to your organization to ensure that you are being representative of others?
Thank you. It's an important question. And I would say there's a couple of reasons. Personally, for both Connie and me being women, and then for me being Latina, I think both of us have experienced a lot of discrimination personally, and we're not invited to the table early in our careers. Connie is going to turn 90, so imagine being a woman in business, 40, 50 years ago. She just had to bring her own seat all the time. And so that we have a history, as I said, sort of around gender equity. But we tried to make progress. And when I got here, I said we have to be much more intentional. And that was, that was before the George Floyd murder. But when things amped up, I think the staff also had a sense of the time is now, and we don't know everything, and all the excuses that we have used. There's just no time, right? We just have to do it. So I think people were more open to my pushing because they saw that it needed to be done. But I think part of the reason it's so important to us is we're a media company. We reach audiences and we are talking to businesses. So if we can be serving as a role model, if we can be putting it out there that this is important for organizations and for culture, and sort of, I guess in some ways, lighting the way or stumbling along the way with others and saying it's okay not to know all the answers, but you have to be on this journey, then I feel like it's really part of our job as media. We have a responsibility and an obligation and an opportunity to talk about these issues that are so critical to our world.
Yeah. No, I think that's important. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. Yeah. And did you have a question, Rob, before
I did. I just wanted to know just a little bit more just about you. Like what drives you? Like what makes you want to do this work? Because I think sometimes, you have people who are watching who may go to work every day and really they're like, I'm okay. I'm just going to show up, do what I got to do and go home. But you could tell that this really does drive you. This keeps you going.
She's passionate about it.
Yeah. And so where did that come from? How did that come about? What made you take this step and go down this path?
Well, I think it really stems from my family. I grew up in a family very committed to social justice. I grew up in a biracial family, so in Iowa that was different from day one. But both my mom and dad were very committed to being inclusive. I also was deeply influenced by a gay aunt who gave me radical feminist literature and introduced me to Black and Latina poets, when I was a young woman. And I just always really felt that it was part of my reason for being on Earth to push for opportunities for other people and to lift people up when I can. And I try really hard in this professional setting to also tell the people around me as journalists, they have an opportunity to make a huge difference by doing that. Yeah. With our words, with our platforms, we can shine a light. We can choose not to, or we can do it. And so why not choose that path? So very core to who I am, and I thank my parents for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, any last minute information?
Yeah, I wanted to have you share with everyone how they could get tickets if they wanted to attend this year's 40 Under 40. After Susanna's on, we'll have a couple people who will be recognized at that event, but I know there will be others who will want to attend. So if you could just tell us when that is and how we could get tickets.
Yes, the event will be held March 30th at Prairie Meadows. It's from 4 to 7, and you can just go to businessrecord.com and look on events, and you can go to that section. Tickets range from $50 to $55. We'd love for everybody to come, but we also live stream it, so people can tune in that way as well.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for being impactful in our community and for what you all are doing. I think this is definitely something that people will look forward to. And now that people even know, even more people will start hopefully next year you have even more nominations.
Absolutely.
So now the pool just gets even bigger. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I bought a ticket for the event, so I'm excited for the event.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you there.
Brittany already got her ticket. Oh my God. Rob's gonna be last minute and ask Madison to buy it. Oh my God. No, in all seriousness, thank you all for watching. Please press that share button, and we'll be back with our next guest. You're watching the Urban Impact Show.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Tiaras.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
You think you funny?
Mic check.
I ain't got no jokes today.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where we are talking 40 under 40 today. You just heard from Susanna Dabaka, and today we have no stranger to the Urban Impact Show with us. We have Tiara Mays, who is one of the honorees for this year's 40 under 40. So help me welcome her, and also Luana is in the house too. So she's going to be with us for this segment. But welcome.
Thank you all for having me.
Welcome
back. Welcome back.
You're going to see Tiara quite a bit now because we have to have her come back again, because she is running for office. So she's going to come back again and talk about that. But today, I thought it was really important to be able to highlight you for this honor with 40 under 40. Absolutely. We're really happy for you, and just talk a little bit about what this means to you.
Yeah, so, oh man, this means a lot. When I got the call, I tried to keep my composure. I was like, are you serious? When he called me, because I'm 32, so I'll be honest, when I was asked to be nominated and go through the process, I'm like, okay, I'll try it this time,
Right.
2 times. I was not expecting to get it on the first try, so I was really shocked, and the first person I called was my mom, and if y'all follow me on Facebook, I tell y'all, my mom is hard to get a hold of. So I'm jumping around the house, and I'm like, she'll never answer the phone. But it means a lot. It means a lot. Right now, I feel like I'm in a winning season in my life, and it kind of seems like my life has changed overnight a little bit from the outside looking in, but this has been 10 years of constant work, a lot of work, and the last 7-8 months have looked really, really good, like on paper, but it's been a long haul for me, so it means a lot to be recognized in this way.
Yeah. No.
That is fantastic. I know you. So, but I don't know, even though people have seen you on the show, I don't know if everybody knows some of the accomplishments you've actually done, so tell us a little bit, like a brief summary.
Yeah. I'm very bad at talking about myself.
Oh, my goodness.
Although no one likes to do that.
I'm extremely, in fact, this past year, my mom, she would tell me, Tiara, you really have to start telling people what you do for work. You're running for office. I'm like, do I have to?
Yes, you do.
So a little bit about me, and I'll tell you exactly what I put in my nomination application. So, one, I'm a published author.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yep. My very first piece was written in 2019 for Autism Parenting Magazine. And it was an article called This Is My House. And this article talked about my decision to place my son in an inpatient care facility. He's autistic. And it just talked about that journey, what it looked like raising 2 kids, twins by myself, and how I came to that decision. Then that was, I've always written, but that was my first time actually sharing my writing with anybody.
Right.
And I'm honest, I try stuff, I see where I land. The next thing that I wrote was a children's book. And funny enough, I knew I wanted to write something about my kids. I've been blogging about them, called a hashtag Twin Chronicles, since they were like 2 years old. And that really just started as a way, my family is in Detroit, so it started as a way to be able to tell my family about what the twins were doing since they're not here. And so one day during lunch, I was going to go get myself something to eat from work, and it just like the dialogue hit me. I go back to my office, I grab some printer paper, I write it out, I write out what was in my head, and I send it to my cousin, Jada Powell. And I'm like, can you add some illustrations to this? She was 17 at the time, but she likes to draw.
Wow.
And I like to force her to use her talents. And so like an hour and a half later, whatever she did on her phone, and I think she did it on her phone, she gives me the illustrations, and that was the book. So I started looking up stuff, how to self-publish on KDP, and then we published the book. From there, I called Barnes & Noble. I'm like, hey, I've got this children's book. Can I come have a book signing? And they said, yeah. And we did that. I asked.
People don't know that. Like it could be you spoke up for yourself and you went and kind of advocated for yourself to get your book out there. I didn't know it was that, like, you can do that. So that's awesome.
It was that easy. It was Google and a smile. That's what I have in my phone.
And it has worked. It has absolutely worked. You know,
I just try stuff. I see where I land. So I'm a published author. I ran for the school board in Johnston in the fall. That went really well. And I think that gave me a lot of momentum to be able to get my name out there a little bit more. While I didn't win a position on the Johnston school board, from that, I was able to be asked to run for the Heartland AEA. And I was very familiar with the Heartland AEA because of my son. He's been receiving services from them. So for those watching, the area education agencies are actually the agencies that provide our local school districts with special education services and technology. Quite frankly, if you don't have the agency getting federal funds, our local school districts wouldn't be able to afford the services. And so someone reached out to me. They knew a little bit of my background. They said, you know, would this be something you'd be interested in? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. The paperwork was due on the 15th. They contacted me on the 13th. I don't really know what's happening again. Very tunnel vision. I don't pay attention to these things. And so I gave her my email. Somebody sent me the form. I fill it out. I turn it in on the 15th. That was a Friday. On Monday, I find out exactly what's happened. I am listed on a ballot, and I'm the only person on it. You need one vote.
One vote.
Sometimes when things are meant to be, they're that easy. So you walk through it, clear through a door like that when it's supposed to happen. Like
Absolutely.
That.
And I believe exactly that. I've been a huge advocate for my son, and because of that, you know, I've always just knocked on doors and did whatever I needed to do to get him the services that he needs. And it's so interesting now that that's kind of come full circle in a lot of things.
And that's how it has to happen too. You know, we have to advocate for our own children, you know, especially
advocate better than us.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons I really think you're such a great fit for 40 Under 40. And I'm super proud that you are there.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome.
I think for me, the one thing that stuck out to me is when you talked about running for school board and not winning. But you didn't let that stop you from now running for office again. So talk to me about how that works, because many people, when you go through that process, there's a lot of work that goes through. I mean, school board, whatever you're running for in office, takes a lot of energy out of you, a lot of door knocking, a lot of signatures and all of these different things. So talk to me about what made you decide to run again for office.
Well, like y'all say, I'm a very firm believer that God places you exactly where you're supposed to be. So I wasn't supposed to be on the Johnston School Board. Am I going to sit here and say that the day after the election I was not talking to anybody? No.
That's true.
I was a little upset. You know, it was, and I didn't leave that election thinking that I wanted to run for office again. The bug had been put in my ear a couple of times, and I just kept saying no. No. And it's one thing when certain people are asking you, but then my community asks me. And when it's for us and we see that there's an actual need there, when people, you know, when they sat me down and they saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself, I'm like, all right, y'all gonna help me, right?
Exactly.
You're gonna help me. And again, I live my life very tunnel vision. I just look at the end goal. And I leave everything else out. So that's how I made the decision. We're gonna win. That's all I see.
So one thing to add.
No, 2 minutes.
Okay, one thing to add. So just kind of taking us back to the 40 under 40. What does that mean to you? We're nearing 2 weeks out into the ceremony. What does this mean to you to be a part of such an elite group?
Yeah, you know, we didn't know who was in the class until it was publicly announced. It was on Zoom, and so as I'm looking through the Zoom, and I'm like, oh my goodness. it didn't click to me
Yeah.
until the
Right.
public event when I see, looking at, people that are in C-suites and own their own businesses.
It's a big deal.
Right, right.
It's a big deal. And, I work for Aetna Health Insurance, but we don't have an office here. So, again, I kind of hide very well what I do for a living. I work from home.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really eye-opening when I saw who else was on the list, and I saw previous recipients also. And I'm extremely honored, extremely blessed. Like I said, I thought definitely have to apply a couple times.
No, it's a huge deal, and it's very exciting for you to be a part of something like this. You've been on here before, running for it was the school board, but now this is a huge deal for you to be a part of this. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, and thank you for joining us again.
thank you.
We're so
Thank you.
excited. Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here on the Urban Impact Show. We'll see you in just a few.
And welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. Man, we've had some really great guests so far.
Yes,
absolutely.
Talking about the 40
Some
under
good
40.
conversations.
Whatever. Listen, wait till we do our final thoughts. That's when you gonna get it. Okay. I've been holding. I've been really nice, which is actually something that should happen.
Yeah.
Right. If it wasn't for 50 over 50, we wouldn't have paved the way for the 40 under 40. Okay. Exactly. We did the hard stuff and paved the way. No, seriously, that's for real.
I will say we still need to get on that the gray hair model thing though.
For sure, because my hair is on point today, right?
Looks really
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I saw when you walked in.
Thank you very much.
about
This is Chanel today. Chanel.
You ain't got no gray.
Now my gray is just covered.
I was getting ready to say. Now wait, you may have gray.
Oh,
but,
my goodness.
But we may not be able.
It's
to see
covered.
it.
Yeah.
So tell us first of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
On the 40 under 40. You under 40, right?
Yeah. You know she under 40.
Really?
Let
Right.
him pull you in.
You haven't even
Some
introduced.
people don't know that I'm even over 18
So
because
look,
they think
look,
I'm my son's
I've been
girlfriend.
good.
Right.
I've been good all show.
You haven't even introduced her
I've been
yet.
good all show, but since Lindsay is my friend, I feel the need.
So you gonna cut up?
You right? I'm gonna cut up. You
Every time there's
absolutely
pretty
right.
women, he cuts out.
You know?
That's what it is.
Well, that's the whole show.
Well, here we
Right.
are.
Right. That's
Here we are.
Every show.
And I believe you have cut up every show.
Yeah, you know. But no, seriously, congratulations on that. That's a big
you.
deal.
Thank
People don't
you.
know. Lindsay really is. I got to say this. Like I called Lindsay. It was like I don't know what time was it. The one it had to be like late night. I call Lindsay like, hey, we trying to figure out how to do some nomination stuff for Juneteenth, right? And Dewana texts me, and I was like, I'm gonna just call Lindsay because I don't know. Like literally, the two people I call is either Madison or Lindsay. Like, and I don't care if they mad.
Because you know they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
We know how to make stuff
It's
right.
true.
They can be mad at me and all. I do not care. Lindsay, I need you to do this. Madison, I get that you're upset, but come on, I need you to do this. Like, those are literally the two people that I call for almost everything. And so I called Lindsay and I was like, yo, we're trying to do this nomination thing. I have no idea how to do it. Within like minutes, Lindsay sends over this like very professional email. I felt like she like cut and pasted like
She probably did.
she had this like marked in her email as a bodied email already.
Right.
She sent it over. Hi, just wanted to make sure that this is what you all were looking like. Wait a minute, what? How did you do this that fast? Like, what are you doing?
That's why she's 40
That's what
and 40.
exactly.
No, for real. Back to school bash. You've been doing. You've been leading that here. For those who don't know, Back to School Bash is the organization that gives away over 1,000 school supplies to students in the 50314 every year. We're coming up on the 17th year.
Yeah.
Coming up on the 17th year. Dang, I've been
That's
knowing
all
y'all.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
you're still under 40.
exactly.
All right.
I'm here
Because we've
still
been doing
under
this
40.
work. We've been doing this work.
It's right.
Since she was in high school. You've been doing this since you were in high school.
Hilarious, Brittany. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Say her full name and
Lindsay White.
Excellent.
So Lindsay, first of all, where do you find time to do all of this stuff? Like, you are involved in your sorority, you're involved in now you got 40 under 40, you got Back to School Bash. Your son is balling out of control right now. I mean, that kid.
My son is currently
is bigger than all of us in the room.
especially you.
Started with you.
Started with you.
Just saying.
So my
if
son
y'all
Jay
laughed at
Sean is my heart, my being.
I feel you on that.
But he is 14 years old. He is in Kansas City right now with his team in Kansas City. But we do a good job at making sure that like every opportunity we provide for him is for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I realized was as I came into adulthood, I had to realize what is important for me.
Right.
And to me was giving back to the community who made me a woman.
That's good.
That's
And
awesome.
so I made sure to do that.
Yeah, well, you've been doing a really
You've
good
been
job
killing
at
it.
it, man. Real talk, like doing a lot of great things. Really,
So I have a question. When you found out that you were a part of this group, like what was your first initial thoughts? Like where were you? Who did you call first when you got the
For
call?
40 and 40? So you're not supposed to tell people when you first
okay.
learn that
So
you're
y'all
40
have to
and
just
40.
all wait until y'all.
Yeah, like we learned early in the year.
Okay.
And so I still told my mama though.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna tell my mama.
First of all, I'd like to thank Jesus and my mama.
You got to tell your mom.
Mama, we made it.
You better.
You got to tell your mom.
But
gotta
my
tell
mom
your
and my
mother.
sister, they live in New Mexico, so like
Albuquerque, right?
Albuquerque. Automatically, those were the first people I told. Then my friends who nominated me that sought me to be like, "Hey, you're the next one up.
Yeah.
I
We
love
need
it.
That's dope.
to support you."
That's dope.
Then after that, it was like, "Hey, I got a lot of friends who are really busy, so I
Yep.
need to make sure they were available."
Yeah.
Right.
March 30th is the event.
Right.
Hey y'all, March 30th is the event.
Don't put it on your
So if you
calendar.
don't have a ticket yet, get it.
Right.
Buying the tickets for me.
Okay, well there you go.
I got my ticket already.
Oh,
Right.
Oh my,
But my
God.
friends are
Got
real
her ticket.
busy, so I had to be
She's on
like,
it.
"Hey yo, I'm
Make
getting
sure
a
y'all-
table. Be
Right.
available."
Right.
So I did. Sorry, business record. Sorry, but I did tell my friends I got it because
Right.
I needed my friends to be available.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be
Right.
there to support me. And so those were like the first people I told.
Excellent. So, once you told everybody and everybody knew, when did it actually settle in for you?
I think it was once I got to the business record and they were asking about like well, I'm not gonna like tell the secrets, but there were things that they asked about. But to learn that there were over 200 people who got submitted for 40 under 40, and to learn that there's so many people who get nominated to be recognized for the work that we do in our community, and the fact that I got selected,
That's big.
out of 200 plus people, and I'm one of the top 40 to be able to be selected. That's dope.
That's huge. What was on your nomination form? Do you know what was on your nomination? You have so many accomplishments.
What did they put?
Yeah, what they put down?
Everything. Everything.
You know, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm a member of.
I'm just glad they didn't start the sign.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen, there's a lot of AKs. There's a lot of AKs in the studio right now, Rob. Right? It's trademarked.
Look, you're right. I'm cutting all the way up. I'm cutting all the way up today.
Do that. Don't do that.
I'm cutting up.
And I'm a member.
Kamala
of
Harris is a member of your organization.
Yes, she
Shout out to the Vice President of the United States.
But there's other organizations that also represent. Why did you do that, Rob? Sorry. The Directors Council, Back to School Bash, like everything, all the organizations that really help to make me to be that, right?
Right.
To me, that's what's important is recognizing the organizations that I have served in.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Right.
It's the organizations that I have served to be in this accomplishment.
And that's exactly why you're 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Because
it's
not about you, it's about the community. And I love that.
And the people you impact.
Well, we have just a couple minutes left, and I know you don't like to be put on the spot.
No, she doesn't.
Don't care.
Oh, Lord. We promised that there would be no putting on the spot.
So you're kind of like your final thought. If you could say something to a young woman right now, who who is trying to figure it out. You know, she got kids, she's working right now. If you could say something to her right now, what would it be?
Do your thing.
I love it.
That's it.
There you have it.
Life is going to bring you so many lemons, oranges, whatever. But do what you need to do for you.
Right.
And
Beautiful.
It's going to be amazing. And it's never going to stop you. It's never going to hinder you. But it's going to be your journey, your path. And people may look at you crazy. And they may be like, what are you doing? But do what you got to do.
Cool.
Well, we're proud of you. And
absolutely.
So I think it's like amazing for you to, I think as Black women under 40 to be in such an elite group like this. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be back with the host's final thoughts. Thank y'all so much. We've had an amazing show today. And we're going
absolutely.
to shout out to all of our guests today. So thank y'all. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick 30-second break and then we'll be back with the host's final thoughts. See y'all soon. Thanks for watching Urban Impact Show.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. We just had the opportunity to speak with some amazing women, talking about the 40 Under 40 is going to be an amazing event, March 30th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, make sure you get your tickets. I can't wait.
Rob.
I can't wait I can't wait to go and see these amazing women who's going to be nominated.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great show today, right? I know we kind of jam-packed in, but we had some wonderful women to talk to and talk about. And 40 Under 40, I'm super excited to go to the event and super excited that Business Record is becoming more diverse and intentional in their diversity. And to your 50 over 50 comments.
Who said that?
I think it was you. Real talk, though, to Business Record, honestly, the older you get as women of color, the less likely you see us in leadership positions. And so to be a leader at 50 or over 50 is actually, for our community, that's actually a milestone, right? The reason there isn't a 50 over 50 is because we were focused on white men, right? They're supposed to be in leadership. But when you're talking about women of color, to get to a leadership position and still be in that position over 50 is a huge accomplishment. So there should be a 50 over 50 specifically for women of color. Rob Johnson. DeWanna's next, though.
We might have to talk about doing that someday.
I think so. Seriously. We experienced some, you're not over 50 yet, but you're there. Shut up.
I was going to say something. I'm going to get you real quick before you say it.
As you get older, we experience some real challenges and obstacles. It's an accomplishment. We should talk about it.
We will. We'll talk about it for sure. This has been a great show. Congratulations to all our honorees being recognized 40 Under 40. Thank you again to Susanna for being here. But I have to take just a little shift because I have to admit to y'all, I am super tired. The last week has just been taxing, and it has been hard. It has been a struggle at best to just deal with people. I'm just going to be honest. It's been rough this week. And so I just want everyone to find a way to work with each other. No matter who you are, no matter what you look like, young or old, we all want the same thing. And we want something better for our babies. That's what it comes down to. We want to find a way to make a better life for them, but we cannot do that if we're all pointing fingers at each other about who was first, who did what, who didn't do what, who showed up, who didn't show up. It really doesn't matter at this point, because the summer is coming and more things can come. But if we take this opportunity to stand with each other, to work together, to figure this out, we can make a difference. So I am begging and pleading with everyone who is identified as a leader, or maybe you're not a leader according to whomever says you are. You all are leaders in my eyes. If you've got the ideas, if you've got the solutions, we've got to come to the table and figure it out. Our young people are dependent on us, and if we can't work together as adults, we have no business trying to be models and examples to them, because they're going to look at us and they will figure it out for themselves. So my plea today is get it together. That's all I have to say, because we can't do it on our own. We need you, but we got to stop all this fighting and all of this stuff, because our young people need it. So those are my thoughts for today.
Thank you.
In order for our young people to become 40 Under 40 members, we do have to work together.
Yes.
Because what's going to happen, our next leaders, you saw leaders today, but our next leaders are coming out of this group. I'll end it with this. You are loved. You are appreciated. Check your mental health. Look out for you. We'll see you next time on the Urban Impact Show. Take care. See you next week.